You're watching Soulful Discussions.
All right, so hi, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
All right.
Great.
Let me ask you this. How did we meet today?
How did we meet?
Yeah,
We
you
just
and I.
made eye contact.
Absolutely.
We smiled at each other, made eye contact, and then I feel like you felt welcomed
Absolutely,
to ask me
absolutely.
a question. And,
Yes, when I crossed the street, I was just like, hi, how are you doing? And
Yeah.
then, we went from there. Let me ask you this. What did I approach you about? What are we doing today?
About something about mental health and reflexology,
Uh-huh.
and I forgot the other one.
So your thoughts about the subject of feet, mental health, reflexology.
Yes.
Right? So let me ask you this. When you think about feet, what do you think about? What goes through your mind when you hear that word?
Foot fetish.
Foot fetish, okay. Hey man, it's your opinion.
Yeah.
That's great. We're gonna ask you some questions today about how do you feel about the subject of feet. You just feel free to answer your questions however you like. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
And what about when you hear mental health? What do you think about with that? Anything in particular, like?
I think about depression just because I'm diagnosed with depression and anxiety, and I deal with it on a daily basis. You know.
I think that there's so many people who, especially after COVID, a lot of that stuff started coming to the light. Like, you probably didn't think about it as much before, but like now, we start to realize, like, damn, man, like one situation can like really send you in a different direction, like if you're not careful. So
It's a domino effect.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So today we're just gonna ask you some questions about like how do you deal with stress, anxiety, things like that. Just feel free to answer those questions however you like. Okay.
Okay.
And then lastly, reflexology. You did ask me, what is that?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you the information today. I want you to just tell me how you feel about it once we get there, okay?
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
All right, let's start with the first question. What do you think we can do to like improve mental health awareness throughout the world? What is something you think we can do right now?
Not judge everyone.
Okay. Not
Yeah,
judge
be open to listening to someone's explanation for something.
Okay.
For the way they handle things, you know. Some people don't know right from wrong. You know, sometimes they do, but they
might have
they don't know any better.
Yeah, they may sometimes ignore it because they think that what they're doing is right. Until they have somebody like explain to them like maybe in a more deeper discussion. Like,
It's not healthy, you know, and it's only leading you to a path of self-destruction. You know.
Absolutely. Fill in the blank on this question. The world would be better if.
The world would be better if. I don't know. That's the hard one.
Whatever you think.
What I think.
Yeah. What do you think we could do like right now to be better as a world, people, all of us together?
The world would be better if people weren't just popping kids out, you know, and like they're not ready. A lot of people aren't ready to have kids, you know. So I think the world would be better like that.
So if you put like more thought into like, I want to have a kid and like what that means, like in terms of dealing with that.
It's a human,
That's
and
a great
they're
point.
they could possibly change the world in a good way or in a bad way.
That is a great point right there. Especially a lot of that is going based on like what you do as a parent to like guide them at the early stages, right?
Yeah,
Those
exactly.
early stages are very important. Absolutely. If a friend or loved one was like struggling with like stress, anxiety, depression, anything like that, is there anything you would say or do with them to like help them get through that?
What I would do, I would take him out on a day like this. Go on a walk, go get some fruit,
Yeah, go get that fruit.
Go on
she went and stopped to get her fruit. That's
Yep,
what I'm talking about,
delicious. I got all of it. I got the watermelon, I got the melon, I got the pepino. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel you.
Yeah, but just kind of taking them out as a distraction, you know, just so like you could look at life and just look what you have around you, you know.
That part, and I think like we talked about it before we started, right? Resetting, right?
Yes.
Sometimes you just need that to like just gotta go out and get away from what I'm dealing with right now and experience something different.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. In terms of yourself, right? You don't have to go too in depth with this question. Maybe more of a surface level answer.
Yeah.
But in terms of anxiety, is there anything that brings you anxiety? And then when you feel like you're feeling anxious, do you do anything to counteract how you're feeling in the moment?
What brings me anxiety is talking to new people.
Okay, so this right here.
Yes, yeah. But actually, I don't feel it right now.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
Well, that's great.
I feel at peace right now.
I like that. When anybody tells me that, and we'll get to that question a little bit later where I'm going to ask you, but usually when people tell me about energy, and they feel comfortable, that makes me feel good because I can sometimes not always feel like I'm doing that, like intentionally. Like I'm not intentionally doing it. It's just like hopefully I give people that feeling though. But I'm glad that you said that. In terms of if you could change one thing about yourself, let's say somebody gave you the power, change whatever you want. It doesn't have to be something physical, but just maybe it's a behavior. Is there anything you would change about yourself?
My impulsive reaction to just hearing anything I don't like.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you hear something you don't like, and then what happens after that?
My facial expressions are very impulsive. Like, I don't think before I speak. I you know, I answer before someone even finishes their question.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I see.
So, yeah.
So has that been something that's been happening for a while for you in your life?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I feel like it's just I'm always anxious.
Okay.
You know? Yeah.
I understand that, man. I think that we all have things that we stick to when we feel uncomfortable. We have certain things we do. Like I talked to one girl who says that I was interviewing her and she said, "Oh, I'm exactly what I'm doing right now." And she was playing with the grass and she's like, "That's what I do when I feel anxious." So I definitely get you on that one.
Yeah.
Let's get into these questions now. Fill in the blank on this question, okay? When I think about my feet, I feel. How do you feel?
When I think about my feet, I feel. I feel energy.
Energy.
I feel energy.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like that. So why do you feel energy when you think about that?
Because I'm so young. I'm filled with energy, and I don't like to really lounge around. I like to always be doing something, staying busy. You know.
That. And that's probably why you came to the beach today. Let me get out the house. Don't want to just be sitting there hanging out. Let me go out and do something. Get some of that vitamin D, soak up some of that, right? It always feels good.
It's so easy to even just be on your phone, scrolling through TikTok, and you're there for hours, and it's what did I get out of it?
Sometimes,
yeah.
You look up and it's 3 hours later. You're like, damn, where'd the time go, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this: have you ever been complimented on your feet? Has anybody ever said to you they think that you have nice feet?
Yes.
Ever happened?
Yeah.
When you got a compliment about that, how did it make you feel?
Felt
what
good.
was the emotion?
Felt good. I felt like a clean person.
And I think that's the hard one, right? Because a lot of times, I like when people say that they like compliments about when somebody says that you smell good, something on you looks good, because I think that a lot of times, maybe sometimes you don't get those compliments. So it's reassuring, right?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this. In terms of compliments you receive from men and women, do you prefer one group over the other in terms of compliments?
I do. I prefer women.
Okay. Why is that?
It's more genuine and it's more warm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it doesn't come across as something that's
aggressive.
Fake or anything
Yeah,
like that.
It doesn't feel aggressive or anything. Yeah.
And I've talked to quite a few women, and that's usually the answer I get. Every now and then I'll give women who say the other thing, but what they usually say is that a lot of times, sometimes guys will give you a compliment, but it's they want something in return. They compliment you, and then it's well, I want to talk to you, I want your number, or something like that. And when women do it, it's just more hey, I just want to kind of let you know, hey, I love the way your hair looks.
Yeah.
I love your makeup, something like that, right?
Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because usually, I feel what girls I feel girls are more jealous of each other, so it feels more welcoming and warm.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you hear from a woman,
something that's not common, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let me ask you this: in terms of the compliments that you do receive, right? I'm pretty sure you've got plenty of compliments in your life. In terms of those compliments, what compliment to you was man, when I got that compliment, it made me feel good. It made my day. What compliment was that?
Compliment?
It could be anyone. I just told you, mine is the energy thing.
Yeah.
I feel that's a big one because sometimes I can feel down, right?
Yeah.
But then somebody will tell me man, I loved your energy today, and I'm just I'm not even trying. I'm not even feeling like that. So, what is it for you that that compliment you get? You're damn, that made me feel good.
My therapist told me I'm resilient.
Like that.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a big one because sometimes we go through things, right? And I feel sometimes when we have to deal with it, sometimes they're really tough things.
Yeah.
For me, lost my brother. Died. Suddenly.
Yeah.
Due to some gang violence and stuff like that. He wasn't in the gang, but just it happened that way.
Yeah.
And it was hard. And it was something I never thought I would get over. But now as I'm kind of going later in life, I still think about it, but not in that same way.
Yeah.
You have to learn to I gotta keep pushing. I gotta keep going, right? There's always something around the corner that could be a more positive thing, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. In terms of pedicures, how often you get pedicures?
Probably twice a month. Yeah.
Twice a month.
Yeah.
You get gel or regular?
I get gel.
Gel lasts longer, right?
Yeah.
My girlfriend does the same thing.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: have you ever heard of medical pedicure?
Medical, no.
Okay, so that's when you go to a podiatrist, right? It's a specialist of the foot. They take a look at your feet. They make sure your toenails grow correctly. They check your feet for like dead skin, fungus. Do all the work there with like medical grade equipment, right? They're actually somebody who can give you more insight into what's happening with your feet. Like they can tell you like if your feet are really dry, like some people have really dry feet, they can tell you the right type of lotion to use because not every lotion is the right one.
Yeah.
And all of our bodies are made differently because our chemical like makeup is different, right?
Yeah.
What would your thoughts be on seeing somebody like that who can give you more insight into what's happening with your feet? Like kind of like when you go to a dentist and they tell you about your teeth, they can say the same thing about your feet. What would your thoughts be?
I'm all for it. I'll accept it. Whatever will make my feet soft and, you know.
So like if a friend came to you with a gift certificate, like, hey man, you go see a podiatrist, medical pedicure or something, you'd be down to go.
I am going, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let me ask you this: how often do you wear open-toe shoes, sandals, flip-flops, things like that?
Oof, rarely now.
Rarely.
Rarely.
Is it the weather or is it more?
It's work. I'm always working, yeah.
Got
so
it.
I have to wear shoes, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I go to the gym too, so I'm always wearing shoes.
So are you somebody who like when you do get a chance, you will wear open-toe shoes just to like let your feet breathe, or are you somebody like you just don't really get the time?
I don't really get the time. I know summer I am. For sure summer they're coming out.
Okay, they're
popping out.
Let me ask you this. What's your favorite type of shoe?
My favorite type of shoe to wear would probably I
get Vans a lot.
I like Converse.
Converse.
I like Converse.
Okay.
High top black Converse.
High top. It's classic, right? Like
Yeah.
something about it, like you just put that on with a nice pair of shorts or some jeans or something like that.
Ready
You're
to
good
go.
Right? Absolutely. How do you go barefoot? No shoes.
How often? Rarely.
Okay.
Rarely.
Have you ever heard of earthing and grounding before?
Earth and what?
Earthing and grounding?
I heard of grounding, yes.
You've heard of grounding?
Yes.
Okay. So that's like going barefoot in like grass, dirt, sand. People who do that feel like they get energy back from the earth.
Yes.
Something that you can do that's like, it's like a meditative type thing. So let's say you had a long day at work, right? You're like, man, it's really rough. Something that you can do is go out to your backyard, your front yard where the grass is, just stand there.
Yeah.
And the focus in that moment is to like think about what you're feeling only in the moment. You don't think about what happened at work, what's going to happen afterwards.
Yeah.
You focus on like, okay, right now I feel like the soft grass, I feel a cool breeze, like I hear birds chirping or whatever it is that you're feeling in the moment. And that's supposed to like help you like unclog some of that mental space that sometimes gets clogged by like stress, anxiety, things like that. What would your thoughts be on trying that as something that like could be helpful to you?
I'm all for it. I do want to try it, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, when I go out, I try to give information about that because a lot of people don't even know. And that's like something that's free. You don't have to like pay for it. Something that you can just do on your own.
It doesn't take a lot of time either.
Absolutely. Like I said, 10, 15 minutes. That's it. Absolutely. All right, so now in this moment right now, could we see what your feet look like?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Cool. All right, let me ask you this. So I'm going to have you, if you can, turn a little bit this way.
Okay.
And then first we got on the Crocs.
Yes.
What's the story behind some of these charms we got on here?
I'm a cat person. I have two cats. I have 3 cats.
Okay.
2 of them live with me.
Okay.
One lives with someone else.
Okay.
LA, you know.
LA, man.
Grew up in LA, Dodgers.
All right.
Hey.
I love
from
it.
Moana.
I love it.
EDC, I've been at EDC twice.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going soon.
Okay.
Let's do it again. Rick, flipping everyone off.
Love it.
You know. Black cat, I have a black cat.
Okay.
I like this flower.
I like that. I like that.
And then A for my name, Anaim.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting because my girlfriend, she has 6 cats,
Yeah.
2 dogs, 3 birds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's like almost pretty much like a farm there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, cool. Let me have you take your shoes off.
Okay.
Leave your socks on for now.
Okay.
All right. And then what size do you wear?
5 to 6.
It varies depending on the type of shoe
Yeah.
you're wearing? Okay,
Yeah.
absolutely. All right, so what I want you to do now is like, let me get you, well, first of all, let's take a look at the top. Is your big toe bigger than the rest? Like
Yeah.
longer?
I think it's, no, yeah, it is a little longer. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what that's called? There's different types of toe alignments.
No. I
Okay,
don't.
that's called what's called an Egyptian toe alignment. Yeah, so a lot of people who tend to like have that, that's what they call that brand. If your second toe is longer, they call that an Grecian toe alignment. It's called a Greek toe. So yeah, that's what you have. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's different types. There's some called Roman. There's a beggar's foot. There's like different types. You can even look it up if you go online. Just like toe alignments, it'll literally come up.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, let me get you extend out like this, like straight.
Okay.
All right, and then toes up, kind of turn a little bit more this way. Yeah, there you go. All right, cool. And now you can take your socks off.
Okay.
All right. And so, size 5, you said?
Yes.
To 6, it varies.
Yes.
All right, let's how you put them down flat first.
Okay.
And we got that like lavender, lilac type
favorite
of,
color.
Like, pedicure going.
Yeah.
All right, and you got love the toe ring. That's
Thank
nice.
you.
Absolutely. Cool. All right, and then let's have you put them back straight like this again.
Okay.
All right, cool. So let me ask you this. We met about almost 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts? Like, how are you feeling about this experience? What's going through your mind?
I'm glad I'm doing this.
You glad
It's
you
out of my comfort zone.
It's out of your comfort zone.
But I feel good.
I love that. So let me get to you. I want and leave you feel we're gonna go through a couple more exercises, but let me get to you about the mental health, why I got started, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of exposure therapy? You probably have.
Yes.
All right. So exposure therapy is all about like when you're in uncomfortable situations or scenarios, like you tend to like want to stay in that.
Yeah.
So like what therapists will tell you to do is like try to push yourself out of that comfort zone, right?
Yeah.
To try to experience what's on the other side, because a lot of times our minds will like create different things, like
Scenarios.
exactly, like this is gonna happen, that's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
And in reality, like it's just a construct of our mind. It's not real, right?
Yeah.
It's not real until you have evidence that
Exactly.
it's real, right? Mm-hmm. So when I heard about that, I'm like, I'm a chronic overthinker. Like I overthink every situation, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to get better. Just like snap decisions. Like if something happens, like let me do this. Not everything requires me to think so much.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I had the idea to like during quarantine, a lot of women were getting into football, and that was the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I had the idea. I was like, what if I take the concept of like exposure therapy?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going, I'm doing these interviews. I'm talking to women about how do they feel about these subjects, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we get to this portion, and I try to see how do you feel in that moment. Can you continue to be comfortable?
Yeah.
Or do you get to a point where you're like, man, I'm really uncomfortable with that. Like, and then why are you uncomfortable? Are you uncomfortable because you're like self-conscious about how your feet look? Are you uncomfortable because it's going on YouTube? Like, what's your thought process there? And I get different reactions. Some women are completely open like you are. Some women are like, they'll overthink it. Some women are like, nah, I'm good. The whole point is to show those reactions on my channel so that people can learn to be more comfortable with the subject. If people don't think negatively, right, when you ask them a question or you talk to them about it, they can like be confident and just like have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about like what my channel is doing? How do you feel about it?
It's great. I feel like it's a great way to learn people.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. So I appreciate you like being open to this experience. Let's talk about reflexology, all right, and then we'll wrap it up, okay?
Okay.
Reflexology deals with the different pressure points you actually have in your hands and your feet. You've heard of that before?
No.
Does that sound familiar? Okay. So you have these pressure points that like literally connect to different parts of your body, right? So like let's say for example, like if you go get a massage, if you do acupuncture, if you do acupressure, you can actually alleviate like stress and tension to various parts of your body. So let's say for example you're somebody who deals with like migraines, right?
Yeah.
There's actually a portion of your hands and feet you can massage that alleviates the tension you feel in those moments, right? There's actually a piercing you get in your ear that does the exact same thing.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about that? Does it sound a little bit more familiar, or is that still something new to you?
It's something new, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know about the ear thing.
Yeah, it's a big one. Like a lady who I was interviewing before, she told me, she was like, yeah, literally like this portion right here, you get that piercing there if you deal with migraines, literally will take care of them. Absolutely.
Okay.
What are your thoughts about that?
I would be down to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So usually when we get to this portion, when we're talking about reflexology, we like to talk about sensitivity. How ticklish do you tend to be?
I'm very ticklish.
Okay. You get pedicures, or you like really ticklish?
I'm getting tensed up when they're about to go scrubbing for my feet, yeah.
Okay. I have a trick for you. Do you mind if we test it? I have a tool to use. Can we test it out?
Yes, yeah.
All right, cool. Let me have you hold this for 1 second for me. And then what I'm going to do is, we get the tool out, then we're going to try right and left.
Okay.
I want you to tell me where you feel it at the most, and then which foot you feel it on the most.
Okay.
Got it.
Got it.
All right, cool. All right. So let me get you, I'll just prop your feet up like this. Start with the right, tell me what you're feeling, and then after we do both feet, I'm going to show you what the trick is, and I want you to tell me how you feel, okay? So here we go. Try to hold in there as long as you can, okay? 1, 2, 3. All right. And what would you say like the scale is on a scale of 1 to 10?
Like how ticklish?
Yeah.
It's an 8.
It's an 8.
It's an 8.
Cool. Let's try your left. Tell me if this one is more, okay? 1, 2, 3. And this one more or less?
Yeah, more.
It's less?
More.
More. So that was like a 9?
No, actually I'd say this one's more.
This one's more. Okay. Here's what I want you to do, okay? Prop your feet back up like this again. I want you to wiggle your toes while I'm doing it. Tell me if you feel it more or less. Okay, wiggle. More or less.
I feel it less.
You know why?
Because we're doing that.
So part of it is because like your mind is connected to every part of your body, right? If you tell your mind, send a signal, do this, right? It's almost like a distraction.
You're focusing on wiggling your toes instead of that part.
Okay. But also because when you wiggle your toes, you move energy to a different place. So the spot where you would normally feel it in, it's like moving to another area, so you don't feel it by the time like the response is coming through. So that's basically a trick for you when you get your pedicures, when you're doing the pumice stone. Wiggle your toes. You can even wiggle your fingers too, and you'll feel it less. Yeah. All right. Let's try your left. You said this one. Let's wiggle here. And more or less?
Less.
Less. There you go. All right. That's the tricks for you today.
Got it.
All
Got
right.
it.
So, get you to do a couple exercises with your feet. This is a test like dexterity, flexibility in your feet, okay? What I want you to do first, bend your toes, make a fist. Tell me if you feel pain or discomfort. Like, bend them down. Is that easy to do? Is that hard to do?
Easy. Yeah.
Relax.
Easy.
Okay, let me get you to spread your toes. Tell me if you feel pain or discomfort while you're doing it. It's a little bit hard to do.
It's hard to do,
Okay.
yeah.
I got a trick for you, something you can do at home. Doesn't cost you that much money. You can go buy it at Target. Literally will help you out with the flexibility portion,
Yeah.
okay? And then lastly, just wiggle your toes about 10 seconds. Tell me if you feel pain, discomfort, cramping, anything happening after that.
Nothing.
Pretty standard, nothing,
Yeah.
nothing uncomfortable?
No.
Okay, cool. So I got something I want you to try out. And this is something, like I said, you can go buy this at Target.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, tennis ball.
Okay.
All right? I want you to put your foot on this and then just roll your foot across it. Tell me what you're feeling while you're doing it. How does it feel? Do you feel it like loosening up any muscles in your body? Anything
Yeah.
like that?
I feel it in my calves. Like, it's kind of like,
Little trick for you. So like that's something you can do like in the mornings when you wake up.
yeah.
You can take a golf ball. Let me give you a golf ball now.
Okay.
And I want you to try this one. This one should get like a little bit deeper into those areas, all right?
Okay.
So go ahead and roll your foot across that. Tell me what you feel. You feel it a little bit more, right? In your feet?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is something you can do if you want to loosen up those like muscles, those tendons you have in your feet that you don't normally use.
Yeah.
Golf ball or
Golf
tennis
ball?
ball in the mornings. And it's best in the mornings just because that's when you're like waking up. Your body is like, it's like a car when you get in a car, right? You
Yeah.
just want to like warm it up a little bit, let it kind of, go, and then you start going, right?
Yeah.
So something that you can do there.
Okay.
Absolutely. Cool. Let's wrap up the interview. In terms of my approach, when I came up to you, I said, hey, down to the interview for my YouTube channel. What were your thoughts about my approach? Was it good? Was it bad? How'd you feel about it?
It was great. It
Thank
was
you.
great.
Appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of the questioning, right, beginning to end, did you see how everything was going along in the line? Did it make sense? Did you learn anything new from the information?
I did.
Okay.
I did. Thank
And
you.
quite a few things, right? Medical
Yeah.
pedicures. We just went through this. Like you learned something to be less ticklish during your pedicure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The last thing I always ask on my YouTube channel, something you can say to everybody that can be helpful from like a mental health standpoint. Maybe it's a life lesson you learned, wise words, whatever you have for us.
Just never fucking give up.
Love
Never fucking give up. Don't be impulsive, just take time to think about something, like don't think too quickly, don't do too quickly, just let yourself think, Put yourself in a good place, go on a walk and think about whatever it is and then come back to it later,
I love that.
Just never fucking give up.
I love that. Thank you so much. Definitely appreciate you stopping to do this interview with
Of
us.
course.
All right.
Thank
And
you.
we hope that you have a great one. Okay.
Thank you, you too.
All right.